I think that this is already beginning to bring another type of dynamics also for doctors, because we know that a lot of symptoms that we have here in Nigeria, especially in terms of illnesses, present fever as a symptom. What would your advice be to medical personnel who, on a daily basis see all sorts of cases, especially with some form of fever?
Yeah. The truth is that that's why we will always appreciate hospitals like the Ahmadiyya. That is, at least, it shows that at least somebody somewhere is aware, is been listening, and is following trends. That is what that has translated. That's the import of what they have done. They had somebody, because it's not every fever. There are so many fevers. 1,001 other diseases can actually cause the fever. You can have, there are signs of general infection. Anybody with any kind of infection, you could have fever, you could have sore throat, you could have this, and you could have that. But you start suspecting people, because by the time a doctor too also takes history, where are you coming from? Are you from Lagos? If you know there has been no case in Lagos, you might not be related, although we have rats. You can still be thinking that, yes, it could be Lagos, because we have rats also in Lagos. But by the time somebody tells you, I'm coming from, somewhere, then you start thinking, is that not one of the states? Could it have been that he's coming with it? When he first of all came into the hospital, they were managing him. They said he came in with a difficulty in swallowing and sore throat and so on and so forth. And then he developed fever along the line. And then the doctor said, there's something is wrong. Maybe they will have used all those things that will have, or our conventional ways of bringing down temperature, and it has not gone down. Then they start feeling, could it be this? Then you start taking history. Where are you coming from? And then you want to zero it down to, could he have at any time, been in contact with anybody who was coming from somewhere where the disease, is already an outbreak? Those are things that will, trigger that in any health worker's head to say, come, could I be dealing with something, like this? And then you send it. There's no harm in sending anybody, to the next level to say, okay, I'm suspecting this. It's not the first case that we will have sent to the laboratories. We have so many other cases that many other doctors in hospitals have suspected, and we found out that it wasn't. But it is good for us, because at least we won't be missing, at least if we have, and that is what had happened.
Do you communicate with other states? Because where he's coming from, they need to go check as well.
Well, I think it's a national thing. I think it's already a national thing. It's already a national epidemic. And I think everybody is already knowing, and I'm sure the Minister of Health too, has started doing something with all the states. We
saw some health officials, especially those like yourself, going out to see what they can do. They also talked about deratization. Tell us more on that, because now it will seem as if it's an all-out war against rats. You don't have to check the species, just take them out. What should we be doing in our homes?
Yeah, the truth about rats is that they are also a species created by God, and we are not likely to be able to eliminate them. The attempts to say that, yes, we want to get rid of rats completely might be a tall ambition. So I don't think that is where we will be heading to. But that is not to say that we cannot reduce the number, within the community. And so the deratization is actually saying that you are getting rid of some of these rats. You are reducing their population. That is what you are, because by the time, as you reduce their population, then you will be reducing the demand, rat contact. So precisely that is what deratization is all about. And it could be at different levels within the home. I mean, let me take it from right inside the house.
Good.
If you have rats in your house, I think one of the things we can do is we can use traps. There are traps, and there are the gums. Those are these gums that they sell. I also watched on the screen now the use of rodenticides, putting something that can kill the rats, in food. But we have to be very cautious about it.
They put it in food?
Yeah, they put it in something.
As bait?
Yeah, as bait, so that they put it in some corners. No, not as not as food. As food for the rats, so they put some things that will kill them. But the truth is that we have to be extremely careful with that. When I watched it, I know that those people who did it went back there, to actually mop the place is important. We are in a house where you have children, you have to be, very careful. If you put something there, and a 3-year-old child was just looking for maybe something to put on the soil, a piece of bread somewhere, and so we have to be extremely, for those who are going to be using that, they must be used appropriately, mopped up, the house cleaned, and so that even the the remnants, don't just fall onto their houses.
I know about rat holes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very difficult for you to trace some of these holes in your homes or even offices. What can you tell us in tracing some of these rat holes? Because I think if we plug them and you take those already in, out.
Yeah, you will take those that are in, out. That is what you will do. You also look at your house. There is no, you can see some of the holes. And where do they normally come from? Maybe under the door, maybe kitchen door, most of the times, because when your garbage is at the back there, they come there, they ruminate around it, eat, and then they still find some other places, but now they are smelling maybe your food, they want to come in under the windows also. And then any other place. So it's good to use maybe those wire gauze and so on, the nets, at the windows and the doors. It's very, very important. It's identifying those places that we feel they can actually come through and blocking them. That's the major way, to do that. Aside from that, because they know they are looking for what to eat and they are coming around, our garbage. That's why we say that environmental sanitation is also key. Keep your garbage, away, very much away from the house, so that even if they are going close to the place, they will be far away from the house. They won't be, at your door, doing something and then looking for, how to enter. If the garbage, because they will always look for the garbage. That is what they are looking for. They are looking for what to eat. So they will go there. And our people should endeavor to actually use. I think Lagos State government has been trying a lot of things, in these recent years, at least, to use the Loma, packaging, exactly, put them in those buckets that can be eaten by rats. Put your garbage there, and they will come and pick it. If they don't find anything eating around your house, they go back into the bush to look for something else.
And that should be a good one, putting it more mildly, because if they don't get anything to eat, they eat some of your valuables.
They do. That is, if they enter your house, they go inside your fridge and eat all those foams behind there, because for those small ones, that is what they do. So that is the more reason why we have to keep them outside,
and
out of the house.
About how we store food too.
Yes.
That's very important. You could put them in buckets, plastics, and cover them.
Exactly. We cover all of them. And particularly for food like gari, bread, and so on, it's important because those are foods that we eat without maybe rewarming or cooking again. It's very, very important, because if they have passed by the place and they have dropped their droppings, there, and you just take it, and our bread, I bought it yesterday, and I will eat the remaining this morning, and I just got there to pick it because I'm in a hurry, I want to go to work, and then we just pick it and eat. So for foods like that you are not likely to recook, please don't leave them just on the surface or on the table, on the kitchen table, just like that. Let them keep them somewhere that the rats won't get there. Their fruits, let them keep them in there. Our foods, let them keep them properly. And more importantly, hand washing. Hand washing is very key. We must always wash our hands after every activities. Some of the questions they will ask you, because you have to look at what are those things. We look at our people also, because in giving them the message, our people, they will go around killing rats. Even when they see rats on the road, those children will be holding the rats by the tail. Supposing the rat is infected, those are some of the things. And the questions have always been, how do we carry the rats? How do we do this? They can use. We don't have to tell them, go and buy a glove because you want to be carrying a dead rat from your house. They can just use a bag, use it and put it in another plastic bag, tie it up, and put it in your, or use your packer, if you can use your packer and a stick or broom. If you use that, they can now come and disinfect the packer and the broom with bleach. With bleach. Bleach is very, very, very effective against viruses. They are very weak. It's only when they get into human beings that they become very, very strong.
One group of people that we've seen, just before we go, is the sanitation officers. We don't see them very often. Why do you think that is the case?
Yeah, they are well, presently, let me start. Maybe a status, a Lagos State status. I know that at the LGA level, at the local government level, we have sanitation officers, and they go around. The truth is that they might not be able to be everywhere at all times. We know how big Lagos is, and it's the number of them that are available at the offices that can actually go out there and work. And I think they are doing some things, and specifically they've actually started doing something in that direction, and that is one of the things that you saw, where you saw some of them going around to say
can I, for instance, if I live in a locality and can I go to my local government area to request that they come to our neighborhood to help maybe do some deratization?
Yes, you can. You can call them. You can call them at the LGA level. You know, the structure in place in Lagos State is that at the LGA level, we have a lot of people there. You have the disease surveillance and notification officers. You have the sanitary inspectors, as you have called them. You have the health educators. A lot of them, are the local government. So we are the local government and working in the community. So if we have issues, anything within the community, we can actually be talking to our local governments.
Because we do remember, just before, we do remember that there was a time where in Lagos, on sanitation days, they used to see sanitation officers around, ensuring that people actually observe the sanitation exercise. But it would seem that maybe because I don't know if the area I live in, but I've never seen them before.
But the sanitation law is still in place. We have been there every last Saturday of the month. I think we still do the sanitation. Maybe it's not quite effective in your area, but we are still, the law is still in place. I think it's left for people to actually, still maintain and keep the law.
Does fumigation help?
Fumigation, yes, it will help. It does help.
Because some have said they fumigate all they want, but the rats don't just die.
No. Sometimes it's for some time. Some of them will die if you do that. But if you don't keep all those things that we have said earlier, like the holes in your houses, keeping them out of your place. It's getting them not to enter your house. I think that is the important thing. If you don't want them to come in, if not so, even if you fumigate today, another 1 month they will come in. That is just the thing. If they keep on finding somewhere to come in through, they will come in into your house.
Okay, well, we'll have to wish you all the best, and hopefully as you appeal to people to change or to just pay attention a little bit to the lifestyle, that could help a lot. Well, Mr. Omomi George is Deputy Director, Health Education, Lagos State Ministry of Health. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you, and thank you.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Don't go away.